It says we are live, so we must be live. I'm just going to double check because I am, paranoid like that. Nobody wants to get into like an hour into a live stream only to find out that nothing's working.
All right, so I would be so sad. I would give up. I'd be like, I don't want to do this ever again.
Yeah, no, I'd probably rage quit for at least for a little while. But we are indeed live, so I'm just gonna copy up that that address and start sharing it around. So welcome to whoever has caught on to the stream first, if anyone's here yet. I am Josh the Amazing Animator for Science Wizard Comics Indiesphere Stream. I've got Mr. Marvel, formerly Mr. Marvel, now Molly Marvel, Troy Torres here with me. That's going to take some getting used to for me. I'm not going to lie. I still struggle with that.
It's okay.
But I always catch myself after the fact. I got to start catching myself before the fact. So mind over mouth. It's something I struggle with.
I mean, you know me. I'm not the easily offended anyways.
Yeah, I know. But we're trying. You're building a new persona, a new kind of branding.
I would say I have already built it. I'm very comfy.
Oh yeah.
As Marley, I think it's the best persona I've ever picked.
I like it. It's got like the sweet side to it, but then it can get like quite spicy at the same time. So It's got a good balance. I think the balance is what really is making that one stick. I think that's what's really key about it.
Yeah, and I don't do the chasing people around with the constant quote tweet, fighting them and all that. I say my piece. If anyone really does come at me, I just block them. I don't even respond.
Yeah, well, I still argue with a few people online every once in a while, but I've learned to stop at some point.
I don't know.
Just be like, okay, well, you've obviously got nothing but anger, and you don't have any arguments, or you don't actually want to have a conversation. You just want to like yell and scream. I'm just gonna block and move on with my day because I got better things to do. Like, for instance, drawing Pineapple Pizza Man for Science Wizard Comics.
Yes.
Far more important than arguing with a bunch of trolls online.
Right.
Just gonna put it out there.
Plus, like, at the end of the day, like, even when you win, you don't really win. You just spent a few hours like owning someone who is more than likely just gonna start going through your profile.
Yeah, and then they're gonna find something that they don't like or that they can spin to get you canceled, and then you gotta restart your, Twitter persona all over again. It's just not worth the effort.
It's not. And
refind all your friends again.
That's
gotta be the worst.
Oh my goodness. Well, what sucks more is it's like you don't want to be yourself because yourself just got you in trouble. So part of the reason I'm Marley now is because I just said, all right, well, I'll just use a whole different side of myself that no one's ever seen. And it worked very well. Yeah,
well, for me, I can't really do that. I only have the one side. I am me. I put that out there, and what I put out there is me. So I'm a little more limited, I think. I'm an open book for the most part.
I'm not angry at life in the same way. So that manifests itself differently through me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm more comfy, I'm more happy. Like,
which I'm definitely glad about.
Like, life is normal as it can be for what's going on.
Given the circumstances, yeah.
But there's nothing, but I'm not unhappy because if everybody doesn't know by now, you can get JUANPOOL issues 1 and 2 in print or digitally.
Indeed, and where you can do that is right here at indieplanet.com/sciencewizardcomics with dashes in between the science and the wizard and the comics. So check it out. We worked really hard on this. All the info's up to date on the back. We had some issues with that because we launched the Indiegogo campaign, and back then it was Mr. Marvel on the Twitter, and we have like the Twitter handles on the back of the comic, so that, you know, if people like the comics, they can be like, oh, hey, we can like get in touch with the author, send them some fan art, send them some, you know, love mail or hate mail or whatever kind of mail, you know, to kind of like keep that customer interaction going and that fan interaction going. And but then shortly after we launched the Indiegogo, you got banned from Twitter, and then you had to change over to Troy Vader. And then once you were in Troy Vader, that's when we sent out the prints for the Indiegogo books, but then that got banned too. And now we've got you know, you're back on Marvel, and that's on the books. It's all updated. We also got mines. I don't think those are on the Indyplanet ones. I can't remember for certain, but I do think I updated. Them with the mine stuff. Not 100%. But to answer Twitless's question, yes, indeed, we are on Indyplanet. Took us a while to get there. We had to go through a few rounds of the print file with Indyplanet and Kablam, who runs Indyplanet. And it takes a lot longer to do that because I'm in Canada and I'm the one that's kind of like, you know, facilitating that stuff and building the print files. So we had to go through, I think, 3 different rounds of print files before we finally got, you know, everything aligned perfectly as it's supposed to be. So it's like, you know, took like a month or 2 for in between one of those print files getting shipped to me. It takes so much longer to ship here than it does in the US. I think I said when someone else was asking me about that, they asked, you know, how long does it take to get something from Indyplanet? I said, if you're in the States, 1 to 2 weeks. If you're in Canada, 1 to 2 months.
Damn.
Yeah, that's why it took so long for me to get it up on Indyplanet, because I had to wait for the print file. I didn't want to put something up there that was going to have a whole bunch of crap misaligned and just like didn't look good when it got printed to people. I didn't want people getting an inferior product. I'm very particular about that. And I think I hope that comes through, and I hope that builds, you know, some level of customer trust and satisfaction with Science Wizard, because, you know, that's what's really important to me. I want people who get their books to be like, damn, this looks really nice. The layout is great. Everything lines up perfectly, you know, and it's a good, high quality product. That's why we go with Mix'em, you know, with our premium stuff that we do through the Indiegogo campaigns. That's why, you know, I spend the time to make sure the print files are right and working. I even, you know, I'm not even done Pineapple Pizza Man, and I've got a print file done for this, you know. I took the JUANPOOL print file, replaced it with all the Pineapple Pizza Man, you know, cover stuff and interiors, and up the page count to you know, to match, because it's 42 pages of glorious pineapple action on pizza, I might add. And I've got that all. I know you don't like it, but man.
No, you're such a salesman now. It's such a great pitch.
I love it, man. I am enjoying working on Pineapple Pizza Man so damn much. You know, if everybody who's working on their very first comic could have as great of a time as I'm having with Pineapple Pizza Man, the world would be an amazing place in indie comics. I'm telling you that, because I love the characters. I love, you know, the story that we're telling in this first arc. These first 2 issues, like this first like double-sized issue, is just a lot of fun. Like everyone I've shown it to has enjoyed it so far, even though it's just the roughs and the lettering. And yeah, I'm like pushing myself to like just make every page better than the last, and I'm hoping that comes through. I'm hoping people love it as much as I do, and a lot of the rest of the team as well, you know. So I'm excited. I can't help it.
You should be.
Yeah, I've been working on it a little bit today, you know, working on some of the inking, and yeah, it's going pretty good. So also, we got Twitless in chat. He says just sent a file to them. He's in the same process now, so he probably understands full well how much of a pain, you know, getting through the print file process can be. It's time consuming. It can be, a little expensive, if you're not like super well off like myself, but it's worth it in the end to stick it out and like, maintain your standards of quality.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's our shilling. Go buy JUANPOOL. If you don't have JUANPOOL already, go buy it. I highly recommend getting it in print.
And I will interject. I will throw in there.
Please do.
If you're somebody that has paid attention and noticed the amount of cancel culture happening, if you notice the amount of classic IPs and stories suddenly change it, you should give JUANPOOL a read, because it's on its surface it's a parody, but like, when you actually really pay attention to what you're reading, it kind of breaks down cancel culture and what the hell's been going on lately with all our favorite characters and stuff. So you should give it a read. I think you'll enjoy it, especially if the last few days have pissed you off because of cancel culture.
Yes, and you know what? I have to say, when you were making JUANPOOL the first time, it was incredibly relevant to the situation that's going on in the world, and it's only been getting more relevant with time. I think
is aging great, because it's just becoming and they're giving me so much to work. It's hard. It's hard because I can't keep fitting so many references in, because the story said I can't keep putting so many more references in, but it's like they're giving me a lot. And I want to say JUANPOOL predicted the future, because Citytonville had riots, and then the very next summer we had riots. Just saying.
So if anything, you should be buying JUANPOOL, because it is prophetic.
It is ahead of the curve. It is ahead of the curve. And there's a lot of pink. If you like the color pink, there's a lot of pink.
Hey, who doesn't love pink? Wink.
Yes. Oh, yes. Everybody loves pink. Oh, I get it. Does Indyplanet ship to Europe?
Yes. I believe Indyplanet will ship basically anywhere. How much that's going to cost you, depending on where you're, having it shipped to, could change from place to place. I know it probably costs to get like the 2 issues. For me, it probably costs about like $27 because of shipping to Canada. And Europe's a little farther away than Canada, so I imagine it will probably be a little more expensive than that. Unfortunately, I wish there was a better way, but at the moment, not really. What's funny though is it's actually like cheaper to ship to Europe from Canada than it is from the U.S. So if they ever, I don't know, like maybe at some point we can get to the point where we're making enough money that we can actually have like in-house stock and start selling stuff ourselves, and then it'll actually be cheaper for people in the long run if we do end up being able to do that someday. Because I'll just ship it myself, and it's cheaper to send from Canada.
We just need to come up with Euro Science Wizard, and they'll be our headquarters across the pond.
Euro Wizard Comics. But speaking of funding, one of the things that we've also gone and done recently is we have set up a Patreon. So, hooray!
Patreon.
Yes, we have finally bit the bullet and decided to, invest in ourselves, and hopefully we're doing it in a way that it's going to, resonate with people. Hopefully people are liking the products enough that they want to help us fund more of it. We've got a goal. If we're able to get to a point where we're making $300 a month, that's like we're going to be able to at least fund like 1 new page of JUANPOOL every month. So that's the first goal for the Patreon, is get to 300, so we can at least be doing 1 page a month for JUANPOOL. Actually, like fund it ahead of time. And then, of course, we'll still do Indiegogos and stuff for new releases, and, have all the fun, extras that go with that, because I love doing those. I love sending them out. I think we had a lot of really great response for all of the swag that we had for the first Indiegogo.
Dude, we had like the best swag package. I don't care. I'm taking a bow.
I'm not gonna lie.
For the price, especially for the price that people paid for the everything, they got a steal. They robbed us blind because we're absolutely mad, lad, and I love it.
Well, they did rob us blind. They robbed me blind specifically, because it ended up costing about double as much as we actually made on the Indiegogo. But I think it was worth it because, for our first go around, it's nice to just have like something that
honestly,
good.
For the humongous setback that we endured, it was awesome that when it did get to them, they had all this cool stuff.
Yeah.
Which I feel softened the blow. And once again, I apologize. We all apologize. It was absolutely our mistake.
Yeah. And it was great seeing the response from people. We had so many people, posting pictures of their books and material coming in, saying that they love the quality, they love the books, they love the pinups and the buttons and the stickers, and we had so much cool stuff. Scud's here. Bisco, he says, yep, shipping's always brutal. And Scud says, Marlefren.
Hi, Scud.
Yeah, I know you two, your buds. But yeah, so check out the Patreon, guys. As little as $1 a month, you'll get access to our Discord. And the Discord has, all kinds of stuff for everything. We even have an animation section, and we've already got animation on there.
What?
It's not a lot, but it's getting there. Eventually, we'll have much more content as we go, as the comics get, moving. You're going to get, exclusive, like early access to, new inked panels and sketches and roughs and all kinds of stuff as we go through the process. And one of the things that I'm especially excited about is variant covers. Now, I think anybody who knows me knows that I've always been a little bit of a naysayer when it comes to variant covers, but I've really come around once I actually had my own comics to actually apply them to, because I'm just obsessed with like commissioning other artists to draw our characters, and I've got like all kinds of variant covers in the works or already finished. For even future issues of Pineapple Pizza Man that haven't even been like fully scripted yet. So we will be having there is a tier for that. Where can I find the tiers? It probably looks different for me because I'm the creator. So right, yeah, you can go become patron, and then I think it'll show the tiers. Yeah, there they go. So we got 4 tiers on the Patreon at the moment. I'm working on setting up a subscribe star as well, and that's going to have more tiers, but it'll have the same, perks and rewards for each of the tiers. But there'll be like kind of like a gradient thing with the subscribe star, just to test that out, see if people like that more, or if they like the simple 4 tiers that we got. And, we've got a sticker tier, like the $1 tier, which is just, hey, you love us, you like what we do, you want to see more of it, you don't got a lot of money to spend, but, you want to, chip in a little bit. $1 a month, not even the cost of a cup of coffee. And, you'll get access to the Discord and all sorts of fun extras, without, having to really invest too much into it. $5 a month, you're going to get a monthly sticker. $10, you get a monthly pinup, and $30, you'll get a monthly physical copy of the comic, or comics, because you'll get JUANPOOL, you'll get Pineapple Pizza Man, you'll get Chicken Warrior when that comes out by Smackin Kraken, or Argonaut VA if you know him as that. And each time you get one of those, it'll be a Patreon exclusive cover that you won't be able to get anywhere else, and you're gonna have a whole bunch of cool indie creators making covers for that. So yeah, check out the Patreon, please. Thank you. And of course, we also have a merch store. As always, we've got some great stuff. not a ton, but you know, we build it up as we go. We got posters. We got some T-shirts. Yeah, this makes a great pillow. I got one of these pineapple pizza man, like I ain't afraid of no ghosts style. I got the pillow for that, and it's really nice. I really like it. So, please, sorry, I'm a little burpy. Check that out. Also, this poster here, JUANPOOL, Journey of the Juan, the Captain America First Avenger parody cover that I did. If you do subscribe to the Patreon at the $30 tier, that is the first cover that is going to be available. So that is going to be the first Patreon exclusive JUANPOOL cover. So yeah, that's actually the first comic cover I've ever drawn. So you get the very first copy of the very first comic cover by me on the very first issue of JUANPOOL. Well, not the very first, but you know, like the second variant of JUANPOOL, because technically there's already one variant of JUANPOOL, which is the Indiegogo campaign. That was a limited run. There was only 600 issues printed for both issues 1 and 2, and you know, the Indyplanet one is a different cover, because on the Indiegogo one he had like half of his face kind of cowled in the costume. Similarly, you know, on issue 2, he was kind of like grayed out and had, you know, like some of the source power kind of, you know, look coming out of his eyes. And so this is the OG cover on the Indyplanet. So even if you have gotten JUANPOOL from the Indiegogo, there's still a good reason to get the Indyplanet one, because that's the OG cover, you know? So if you're a collector, I love that cover. Right? It's so good. If you're a collector, simple. There it is. All right. Well, I've been blabbing for a little bit, and going back around to circling back around to JUANPOOL.
You're gonna circle back. I was gonna ask if you were gonna circle back to it.
Hey, at least I do circle back.
Yes.
So getting back to JUANPOOL and the cancel culture stuff, I kind of want to talk about. I almost said my fiance's name because it's actually like very similar to her character's name, Cara Dune, on Star Wars, The Mandalorian. Because Gina Carano, the woman who plays Cara Dune, magnificently, I might say, I think she is one of the best characters on that show. She was just fired from there. Cancel culture strikes again. That's a shame. It's bullshit. But I have to say, you were right.
I told you. The company does not like its core fans. It wants to replace its fans. And that's quite fine. If that's what they want to do, let them. Yeah. When I was younger, this is anecdotal. When I was younger, I had a bunch of cousins because I'm Hispanic. So I had a bunch of cousins. And they were different age groups. Whenever my cousins, you know, around my age, me and them were playing, the younger ones would come in and bother to have what we had. And eventually, you know, we had to let them play and it was no fun. Mm-hmm. And we just developed one day the style of every time they cried for what we wanted, we just gave it to them and walked away. And they instantly didn't enjoy it. I'm very okay with just walking away and letting them have it. I really don't care anymore. Like, it can't undo what I already know of Star Wars, if that makes sense. Like, that's it. Yeah. I've seen the originals. I've seen the prequels. I've seen the expanded universe, seen all the other stuff. You know, I've played a shit ton of the games. I know humongous amounts of the lore, probably more than I should admit that I know.
Probably more than the current writers on the.
I would absolutely guarantee that I know more lore than the current writers coming out of the Lucas writing group. And it's just they taunt fans, they mock fans, they insult fans. They have no problem saying the worst things, and they get away with it. What happened to her was a blatant double standard.
Oh, big time! Because Pedro Pascal Like he had posts that were just as bad, if not worse.
No,
than
they
what
were
she
worse
said.
because it was a fake picture. The picture was not what he was. Right, he misrepresented a picture. It wasn't even American in origin. So right then and there, that's just like, all right, that. So that's worse because he misrepresented a picture to make a point using the same kind of analogy that we won't even say on the channel.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I mean stuff you can't even talk about on here, but you know, I think everybody kind of knows.
Yeah, everybody
At
gets
this
the
point,
gist. I
yeah,
just say we don't talk about it just for the sake of, but I'd rather not have, you know, the little speech recognizers look for words. But the same parallels are always being drawn all the time. It's just a double standard. They just wanted to get rid of her, pretty much because she didn't back down. I
yeah,
will say because she persisted.
yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, they hated that.
she
They
persisted.
really did.
And that's another example of how they don't like strong, empowered women if they don't think like them, and that's unfortunate
Yeah, and
because
I think that's something that this whole situation has definitely illuminated is that, like, I mean, all they did was prove her point,
Mhm.
essentially.
Now here's the funny thing: I would go to bat for her, and I'll be the first one to admit I don't agree with all of her views.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
no,
I don't agree with all her views. I
well,
think
nobody
some of
can
them are
agree with
dumb, and
everything.
how she says them are dumb. But what happened was a huge double standard, and
Absolutely.
right now they're using social media almost like a net to catch people that they're going to get rid of, and that's kind of gross and scary.
It's a little bit. What's the word I'm looking for? Orwellian. Yeah.
Orwellian.
I mean, it's used to death, but you know, it's right. And I think one of the other things is that what happened with this whole thing, it really illuminates the solution as well, and that's why I love this example and why I really wanted to touch on the whole Cara Dune Gina Carano thing is because like less than 24 hours after she was publicly fired from Disney for saying don't hate your neighbors, which, oh my god, so offensive. Don't hate your neighbors. But 20 less than 24 hours after that, she got a job with Daily Wire. Or I don't know if it's like a job specifically, but like a contract where she's going to be helping them produce, write, direct, and she's going to act in a film with them. And they recently did this this movie called like Run, Hide, Fight or something like that, and it looks pretty good. But like the point of that is that you have to make your own media. You can't trust these giant corporations with anything really,
And
because they're all in on the cancel culture scene.
like
They're all in on the on like all of that nonsense.
I said it the other day on Twitter, and I'll say it again right now. The people who own your heroes hate you.
Yeah, vehemently.
That's it. Your heroes are dead, dude. That's it. Just keep your memories, keep your older content. You know, whenever you can buy physical, keep your stuff, and that's it, and move on. They're not going to do good things with them, no matter how much. In fact, uh, I've quite noticed that the more you bitch, the more they double down because now
Yep.
it's fun for them.
Because, well, but also if you ever say anything where, you know, if you're ever mean or nasty to them, you know, in your discourse, they love that. They love it to death, because immediately after that, you know what they're going to do? They're going to play the victim card, and they love nothing more than playing the victim card. It's
Yep.
their favorite thing in the world. You say one mean thing or even a nice thing that they can spin to be mean. And I've seen some doozies, even just today, of examples of that. But like, if you even say something nice that they can spin into something like quote unquote offensive, or quote unquote something that they can label as offensive, like they'll be happy as a clam, you know?
They'll
So
get you, bro. They will
block,
get you.
yeah, like just block them, unsubscribe from Disney Plus or whatever, you know, platform it is that hates you and, you know, hates the product that
But
they're making.
There is something that was on my mind as I was driving home that I will put out there. This is what happens when people decide, oh, I'm not going to do the arts or the humanities. That's lame. That's it. There's nobody left in the arts and the humanities that like are going to preserve your heroes or make them good anymore. That's it. That's it. It's kind of taken over by one mentality, and that's it. It's just, that's how it's going to be, you know, and that's unfortunate. Because it's really hard to walk away from heroes and characters that you've loved for decades.
It's hard, but we're at the point now where you have to. Like, hey, Monotron Fox is here. How you doing, buddy? We're talking a little bit of social commentary and pop culture at the moment regarding Gina Carano and all that firing nonsense. But it, like we're saying, it illuminates a very important point. Like, at some point, you have to say goodbye to these characters because you know they're not in good hands.
They're not.
You know that the people that are making it hate you, actively hate you.
They don't like you. And the thing is, like, they put everybody into one box, which is unfortunate because I'm very far from the kind of thing that they describe me as. And that's it. You can't argue with them. You can't reason with them. That just let them have it. Whatever. It's time to make new things and support people making new things.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all you can do, or go back and revisit the older things that you own.
And there's lots of people right now.
Fable 2 again lately. I've been playing Fable 2 again lately because that game is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been playing Tomb Raider. You know, that's fun, man. And Bomberman. I just got Bomberman recently. Love that game. But only Monotron says it best. The only way forward is to build something new, and that's the thing. It also reminds me of the manga industry. I know you don't read a lot of manga or anything, but it's actually very similar because a lot of the anime and manga, like, you know, that we grew up on, like, isn't being made anymore. It's not like, you know, Marvel and DC and Star Wars and stuff where they just keep making more and more content for it. It has a beginning, middle, and end, and then when it ends, you got to find out what's the new thing. So we're kind of being forced into that situation that Japan has been operating under naturally for like years and years and years.
Yeah, and I mean, me personally, and I've caught some flack for people for saying it. I mean, I'm kind of done with those characters anyways. Like, how many more stories can you tell of them before it's just okay? Okay.
But also,
like you have to move on. Like, any good story has an ending.
Yeah, but also, you know, how can you expect a good story for characters that you love written by someone who hates the characters
and hates you and openly mocks you through the character?
Yeah, like, it's not possible. You're not going to get a good Star Wars story.
Like, think about it. Because I walked away from Star Wars after The Last Jedi. That was it. That was my last straw.
That was my last straw too. I ended up watching Solo, but it was by accident because I walked into the wrong theater. Like, I was a week early somehow. I wanted to see Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and I walked into the wrong theater. Like, it hadn't started up yet. So I was just like, and it was Solo. I was just like, well, I didn't pay for it, so I might as well sit through it and see if it's as bad as they say. And oh my God, it was as bad as they say and worse.
Bro, the thing is, the people that made it don't know how Star Wars works.
No, not even.
No, none of this acts the way. I agree, Visco. I did. Rogue One was good.
Rogue One was good. Yeah.
Rogue One was good. The last scene of Rogue One. Ooh, the Vader scene. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
my God.
they can get stuff right, but like, they get so much wrong. Like, you have to slog through trash.
They keep trying to bring in like modern relevant themes into a story that's a space opera.
Yeah, what was that one recently where they were like, oh, it's all about like Trump and stuff. And it's like, what does Trump have to do with space?
Ah,
Nothing.
man, that's dumb. He's
I
not even
can't.
that interesting.
No, he's not. Like, and you thinking about like the primary audience for a lot of this
Isn't he
stuff.
gone now? Aren't you supposed to let gone things be gone?
No, but like the point is that I'm making is that like that's politics. Like a lot of these like movies, they're for kids.
Yeah,
Like
dude.
that's kind of your
Oh, I
primary
mean,
audience.
I would say, if, in a way, they're for adults too, but
Yeah,
they have to be the kind of story that appeals to both the adult mind and the child mind at the same time.
yeah. It's tangentially for adults, like
Say,
adults that kind of grew up with it, and
like,
like
say what you will about the prequels, they feel like Star Wars movies.
yeah, absolutely.
You know, that they flow like a Star Wars movies. You saw Anakin, you know, you saw time pass throughout that trilogy, as it
Hmm.
should, same way you saw in the original. In this new one, like, I don't know, for some reason I feel like 3 months went by.
Yeah, I mean, like say what you will about the prequels. Like they
They were
have
good.
their
I liked them.
issues. They have their
I had
issues for sure,
issues.
but like those issues are pale in comparison to what's coming since then.
Like, I mean, but at the same time, I have issues with the originals.
Yeah.
You know, one of the biggest ones, like, I'm sorry, you really shouldn't have made Luke and Leia siblings, bro. That was weird.
Oh yeah, you think?
Oh yeah, they kissed. Like, what are you doing, bro?
Hey, they didn't know. They didn't know any better. What you gonna
Yeah,
do,
but
man?
that's weird. And it was never addressed. It was never addressed. Like,
I
yo,
imagine it was repressed, not addressed.
like,
It's
I'm
like,
sure there were
oh.
a few times that Han was like, yo, I know I remember seeing them kiss.
Mhm.
And now they're acting like it never happened. What the
Yeah,
hell?
they're just like, oh, we'll forget about that. You know, it's not a thing. It never
You know,
happened.
every so often R2 remembers and he beats it off to somebody. Like, oh,
Yeah,
those two kissed.
I think the only part that they actually addressed it is sort of like in Han Solo's face when she tells him that he's her brother, and then he just kind of gets this look on his face, and you just know that he was
He was
thinking at
like,
that
yo, did
moment.
you kiss that dude?
It's like you, but you kissed him. Did you know this then? He's probably just like, what have I gotten myself into? Who is this?
Oh, this is gross. Oh, and he's gonna stick around. Oh man. But it's
that's
actually
that's that's my
like
headcanon.
I haven't seen The Mandalorian, and that's because I don't want to support anything they do.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you pay for one thing, it funds the other thing.
Yes, and that's the thing
Uh,
is like as long as you keep giving these people money, they're gonna keep crapping all over you. They're gonna keep destroying the things that you love because they hate it. They hate you. Time to move on. I mean, you could support all manner of indies. I'm not just saying us. I mean, like there are plenty of indie creators out there who are building up great IPs. There's several I can think of. Jack Irons, great comic series. They're 3 issues into it. I've read them all. They're terrific. Highly recommend them. My good friend Cody Fernandez. There's also The Abductables by Michael Derrick and Ebi Canales. Super fun, super funny, action-packed stuff. Troy and I've got JUANPOOL and Pineapple Pizza Man. There's Marty's got Corkhorn. It's not really a comic per se just yet, but you can check out Corkhorn. She's got like a digital like half novel with like occasional comic book accents and stuff. It's pretty cool. She's a good friend of the channel too. There's lots of stuff out there. Like you just gotta put in a little extra legwork these days to find it. Take a chance on something and discover. It's actually a little bit exciting too because it's kind of like your Indiana Jones, right? Uh, and you're digging through the catacombs of the internet trying to find new materials, trying to find that precious gem or whatever.
I think that's fun.
And for a lot of people, that it's your last way that you can go find sexy drawn women.
Oh yeah,
because you're not going to find that in these companies anymore. They can't. I mean,
No.
look at it. They got rid of Miranda's ass. How do you what?
Femininity is verboten.
Female beauty is powerful. Feminine beauty is powerful, and they just don't like that because you can't control feminine beauty.
No, and that's the thing. It's like
they hate you and don't want you to like it.
Yeah, they don't want you to like anything, and that's the thing. Like a lot of these people that are kind of in charge of this stuff now, like they will try to destroy stuff simply because you like it as a man. Like if you're a man and you like something, you're prepared to have that something destroyed.
If you're a lesbian that doesn't agree with them too.
Oh yeah.
Because they forget women like women too. So it's really like counterproductive. Like I think there was even like one article that was like women are going to enjoy playing Mass Effect finally, and it's like that's pretty insulting.
Yeah, it's like why do you assume that they wouldn't have been able to enjoy it already? You know, there's been plenty of women that enjoy Mass Effect. My fiance is a woman. Fancy that. She likes Mass Effect. We were playing Dragon's Crown, and her favorite character is the giant-titted magician. You know, she named her she named her something like it was a pun with the word breasts or boobs or something. God, why can't I think of the name?
I would have just called her Tits McGee.
It was kind of like that, yeah. Let's check out the chat and see what they've been saying a little bit on this. Bisco says they can only deconstruct and are so full of themselves. Rogue One just had a director that at least tried to make a movie that would entertain and fit in the lore. Also, yep, definitely. He says I wouldn't make my daughter suffer through The Last Jedi. I wouldn't make my enemies suffer through The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi made me cry. What they did to Luke was awful. Like I literally cried the next day after I watched it.
Yeah, I think Last Jedi. Oh, there we go. There's my fiance in the chat. She said she named her Titiana.
Titiana, yes.
Titiana. And I was playing the Amazon. I called her Bootisha.
Word.
Because she got that booty. Getting back to the chat, Monotron says prequels were good in a terrible, corny way. I'd like those over the sequels, definitely. Bisco, It would have been funny if Luke went full Ace Ventura when he learned Leia is his sister.
It was like eating mad gum and like scraping his tongue, like ugh.
Einhorn and Finkel.
Oh, she kissed me.
I love how when he reveals that information to like the crowd at large, like every other cop in the station starts like doing the same things. Like, oh my god,
like she made out with everybody.
Einhorn got around.
There's a gun in your pocket.
That's not a gun.
That's the best.
Oh man, I miss those old movies. Like you can't make it. You would not be able to make Ace Ventura today.
No, you can't. At all. You remember that show In Living Color?
I grew up on In Living Color. That was my jam.
You can't make that.
No.
You couldn't.
It would be literally impossible. Literally impossible. You would have so much cancel culture going on.
That was white people and black people making fun of themselves together. Yeah. And that was probably the greatest comedy show ever on TV.
Of all time. It was the greatest sketch comedy show ever created. I firmly hold that opinion.
Yes. And their characters were, oh my God, offensive.
Handyman.
I was thinking of him too.
Up and away.
Don't do it. Never underestimate them. Yeah, I'm not even gonna. Oh my God, it was so bad. But it was good and it was acceptable and everybody laughed.
They made fun of every possible like group that you can imagine, and it just nobody cared. Oh, everybody understood exactly what it was. Comedy. It's a joke. Nobody takes it seriously.
Those times were different.
Yeah, you can laugh at handicapped people or the concepts inherent within, and still support them and still care about them. Like,
But what everybody forgot was, but he's the hero and wins and beats the villain.
Yeah.
He wasn't being like degraded. He was the hero. He actually won. How about the head detective that had like the potato head? Pick me up and throw me at him.
I think
it was the best.
My absolute favorite was Homie the Clown, though.
Homie the Clown.
I loved Homie the Clown. It's just like this. Okay, if anybody's not familiar with In Living Color, Homie the Clown was a character played by Damon Wayans, and it was an ex-convict who's basically on a release from prison doing community service. And what he was doing to pay off his community service was being a children's party clown. He called himself Homie the Clown. He carried a sock full of oranges.
Yeah, he used to hit them so hard, powder would come out.
Yeah. And he's basically just this like angry, disgruntled guy. He didn't want to be there, didn't want to be a clown.
Ex-con.
Yeah, ex-con, surrounded by children. Is like, all right, kids, who wants to hear a joke? And he's like, I do. And he'd hit him with the sock, and he'd be like, homie, don't play that. He'd just off the
jokes. And he'd always end with a song that would like rant about the system and the man and how they're gonna crush you and you're gonna end up in jail too.
Now repeat after homie.
Now repeat that. Homie the Clown.
Homie the Clown. Doesn't play that. Doesn't play that.
It was the best. And you can't do that because I don't know. I don't really want to get into it, but it sucks that you can't.
It does because like that was a release.
Everybody laughed at that show. Everybody got in front of the TV on Sunday night to watch that.
Yeah.
Everybody. And it was one of the highest rating, successful multi-season show that kicked off so many careers that we still see to this day.
Damon Wayans, Marlon Wayans, like all the Wayans. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Jim Carrey.
David Alan Grier.
Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez was a fly girl.
Yep.
She wouldn't exist without In Living Color.
Dude, like this show like launched so many careers. And it was so like relevant, and it would have musical guests at the end. Oh, it was nasty. It was awesome.
Do you remember Jim Carrey's Vanilla Ice impression?
I'm white.
That was so good. I'm white, and I'm capitalizing on a trend that's currently rising, stealing from Larry and Curly and Mo, like just hilarious stuff. Because it was real commentary. They had points that they were poking fun at things.
Everything was good. Jamie Foxx.
Men on Film.
Oh, 3 snaps in the Z formation.
I give it 3 snaps in a circle.
I related to that.
So this stream has become the In Living Color reminiscence stream.
Yes.
I mean, you want to talk about like, my childhood. That was my childhood. We had terrible satellite. Like we had this gigantic satellite up on the roof of our house, and it got like 3 channels, 2 of which were absolute garbage. The only one worth watching for like us kids was FX. And even then, there was only like a couple of shows that were worth watching on that channel, one of which was In Living Color. And we never missed it. Like, as long as we had that crappy satellite antenna, we were watching In Living Color. I think we saw like every season while it was running. It was so good, man.
I faithfully watched that show. That was one of the greatest. Like, you went into school the next day snapping the jokes at the other kids, and the ones that didn't know got them snapped on harder.
I actually used to I would remember all the different skits, and I would kind of like recreate them for my friends that didn't watch In Living Color. Like, they'd never heard of it. They'd only ever see it if they'd come over to my place. And like I would just recreate the sketches and tell them to them like secondhand, and they'd love it, man.
Yo, even Chris Rock came on a couple of times. Good Lord, that's a lot of money.
Man, They just don't make them like they used to. They can't. And
Nah,
the
everything
thing is,
has to be like it's the same story over and over again.
yeah. Well,
You
the
know,
funny thing
everything
is,
put out is the same story. This like one awesome character is gonna be the awesomest, and everyone's gonna love them, and they're the bestest, and everybody wants to be like them and be around them because they're the bestest. And I don't know, I'm just tired of that story.
Yeah.
That's all they can do. And if not, they'll take what you love and destroy it. Great example. Look what they did to She-Hulk.
oh, poor She-Hulk.
Absolutely destroyed her character. Like they show how little they know about the character by not understanding exactly why the transformation made her look the way it did.
Yeah.
You know, and that's very sad because that's it. It's gone. Your She-Hulk is gone. It's now just another Hulk, but it's Girl Hulk. They should just call her Girl Hulk. Instead of She-Hulk, she should be called Girl Hulk.
Yeah. It's she's basically just like the Hulk. That's it. Like she's really no different anymore. Like they've made her act the same as the Hulk. You know, they made her look the same as the Hulk. She doesn't have her own, identity anymore.
Which just only draws more to the fact that at this point, Hulk's boring. How many more stories can you have of the same characters?
Yeah. I mean,
before you're telling them over and over again.
That's another big benefit to, all the new indie comics and whatnot that are being created is that, like, we've got all new stories to tell, all new characters to develop, and you don't know which way they're going to go. I guarantee, like, a lot of the people who are going to come into Pineapple Pizza Man, they're going to have one idea of, like, what kind of story this is and where it's going to go, and it's going to be completely different. And I think that's exciting, You get brief glimpses of these characters. You're just like, that looks fun. That looks neat. I'm going to check that out. You start to kind of also, get this idea in your head about it, and you can be very surprised. Maybe you'll be right. That happens too sometimes. But, like, for the most part, you're going to be very surprised and hopefully delightedly so.
Yeah. And honestly,
What's that? Oh, looks like Troy just dropped. We'll get him back in a minute. Oh, looks like he's back. Cool. Are you back?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. My internet did a quick glitch. Sorry about that.
No worries. Let's get back to the chat for a sec. See what people have been chatting about there. I imagine they're just kind of following along. Bisco says, any visual cue that implies clear femininity or masculinity must be destroyed, and you better not mention you enjoy looking at it, you objectifying, monster. He's right, too. Unless it's the reverse. If it's a masculine woman, they're all for it. If it's a feminine man, all for it. Like, they just flipped the two,
And, like, I'm not opposed, but you got to create new characters for that. You know what I mean? Like, if you want a new, strong, hulking she-beast, make it. But make it good so people read it. But what they do is they take things that already have a fan base so that, they could just throw whatever into it and it's going to succeed because of the consumes. All the people that are going to go consume. You have a lot of the shut up consumes. It's kind of sad. And that's another thing that I remind people of. There's enough people that'll carry their water publicly, and that's all that counts. They don't care about numbers because something else funds the stuff that they're doing.
Yeah, unfortunately. So Bisco says, satirizing things normalizes them. Victim culture devolves into tribalism. And I think, that's true. We can see that happening in real time on a daily basis. Monotron says, very dehumanizing. Bisco, I don't think that show ever made it over the pond. At least I can remember it. Bisco, definitely try to seek it out. You will not be disappointed if you find yourself like a box DVD set of In Living Color Season 1. It'll be a great time. I guarantee.
Yeah, it has early Jim Carrey. Like, basically, he literally debuted on that show.
Yeah, that was where he got his big break, and also probably where he was best. That's saying a lot, and I stand by it.
Yeah, Jim Carrey was at his best. That was young Jim Carrey. That was what led to every character he ever made a movie of. I'm telling you, if you want to see where Jim Carrey got all his characters from, you have to watch A Living Color.
Yep, absolutely. Let's see, Monotron. Everything is homogenized and formulaic because it appeals to the lowest common denominator. Absolutely correct. The normies, like it's not even the normies.
The normies.
It's like the kind of people that the normies would call normies. You know what I mean? That's the kind of people they cater to now.
No, like who they cater to right now are the people that want to look good in front of other people that want to look good. It's a very sad circle when you look at it, because you have a lot of people that tend to kind of hate things, but you can't say anything about it or you get in trouble. Like, it's a sad existence.
Very.
Like, if you have to like it or you're automatically an enemy.
It's kind of weird because it's very true, because you see that a lot with things like Steven Universe or something. Like, if you don't like Steven Universe, you're immediately the enemy of all of the Steven Universe fandom, you know? Like enemies for life. Like no redemption.
Yeah, and here's the funny thing, because it's happened to me a few times, because I'll say I don't like Steven Universe, and they'll be like, you haven't even watched it ever. And I'll always agree, be like, yeah, I've never watched it. Then how can you say you don't like it? I don't like the artwork, and therefore I don't want to watch it. So no matter, even if it is good, I'm never going to get to know if it's good, because I automatically just don't want to watch this artwork. Yeah. Like, I don't like these figures. I don't like the doughiness to them.
And not liking the artwork of something is a perfectly legitimate reason not to want to support it or watch it or whatever. Like,
yeah, I'm not against Steven Universe. I just couldn't care less.
No,
it's not anything really important to me.
I've had a lot of things where, like, you know, like comics and manga and stuff, where it's like, oh, I've heard good things about this. I heard the story is really good. And then I'll pick it up, I'll look through the art, and I'll just be like, this art's terrible. I don't want to read it, you know? Like, there's... Yeah. And that's perfectly legitimate.
If you can't sit for the visual, you're not going to make it through anything.
Yeah.
You know?
One of the reasons why I'm trying to, you know, really make sure that the art quality of Pineapple Pizza Man is at my absolute highest.
Hey, man, that's why I stepped up my game as much as I could between JUANPOOL 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, you know, everybody in the chat, make sure to check out indieplanet.com/science-wizards-comics. Check out JUANPOOL, Journey of the Juan, issues 1 and 2, and you will see just how much Troy has improved between the two issues. Not a ton of time between the two issues either. It's like 1 year, and then the next year, I think, was number 2.
Yeah.
So that's 1 year, and he's improved and like massively, I think. So if you want to see that, check out the comics. Available in both print and digital on indieplanet.com. Please and thank you. So yeah. Let's see. Back to the chat. There we go. Bisco. Look what they did to Roseanne. Once one of the most progressive shows, but she wouldn't shut up for Hollywood. Yep. I mean, that's how is that any different from the Gina Carano situation?
I mean, it wasn't. It's just because of how she views the world and her opinions, and it's very unfortunate that, like I don't know, like that's a very, very bad way to judge things, and it doesn't ever lead to anything good.
No, you know, you're not allowed to have an opinion that's outside of, you know, a very specific and very narrow view. God,
you know, because we all have opinions, and most of us don't. You know what I mean? Where we agree on one thing, we probably totally disagree on another. I really like how you're doing that.
Oh yeah, thanks. Man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's sick. That black that you just added, That's big and nice.
I like to experiment a little bit. When I'm
Yeah,
drawing
yeah, me
people.
too. Yeah. I do too. You're making me want to draw, but I'm lazy tonight.
Try a few little things here and there. You know, I'm doing this for therapeutic reasons. You know, this
Right.
is just for fun. But yeah, check it out. Bisco says She-Hulk is a perfect example where weirdo progressivism clashes hard with the fundamentals of superheroes and mythology. The normies are scared to say they don't like something. They don't want to be branded as bigoted. Yeah, and apparently everything is bigoted. You can't say anything without being bigoted. You can't like a show that they don't like or
Look,
that's bigoted.
If you like Miranda's ass, you're bad.
Oh,
But if you want the big titty vampire lady to step on you, you're good.
yeah.
Depending on who you are. And that's what sucks because like you gotta have it consistent. You know what I mean? And that's what frustrates me because there's no consistency across the line. Like some people can do things and other people can't. And once again, that's like a really bad way of doing things and never leads to anything good.
No, and it's always going to lead to what's the word I'm looking for? Well, it's just going to be divisive all around. Like, you know, you're not going to bring people together. There's not going to be unity when you're constantly demonizing everybody who doesn't think exactly like you. So,
yeah.
Moving on, toxic fandoms are real, just like journalists like to claim it. Unfortunately, true. Monotone Fox, I've seen Steven Universe, and it's not worth it. LOL. Why I'm trying to get better for my own properties too. Yeah, definitely. I see you practicing all the time, Monotron. Like, keep it up, man. Keep it up. I love it.
No, but it's really stupid. I don't know. I everything's becoming this one big like you know what was said, like Monotron said, it's becoming this homogenized, just everything's the same thing.
And same is boring.
Really boring.
You know, when you get something nowadays that's like genuinely good and like genuinely interesting and new, you know, and people like it, you know, it automatically becomes the enemy, you know, to these people too. It's that's not the right strong female character. Cough cough, Battle Angel Alita, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, your strong female character is not allowed to compete with our strong female character, our chosen one. You know, it's
Captain Marvel.
yeah. I mean, if you want to name names, sure, but you know, it's the point is that like it's just so combative. It's so one-sided too. Like the other people are like, hey man, you know, you like what you like, I'll like what I like, and we'll agree to go our separate ways. But the other side, they're like, no, you are not allowed to like what you like. You must like what I like or die. I ain't for that.
Yeah, no. Like, it hit me the other day. I would have had a lesser problem with, like, Rey and Kylo Ren if they had nothing to do with the original characters. Like, if it took place, like, 50 years after Luke died and they don't show up, I think I could have accepted it more if it didn't involve and trash the old Star Wars. Yeah. And that's what they like to do. Drag in and trash the old stuff and say ours is better. I'm telling you, if those sequels would have been made, like, let's say 50 to 100 years after Return of the Jedi, they would have done much better.
Yeah, I think you would have had a lot less people complaining about the characters in general.
Like,
but, I mean, I would have just been like, well, it's mediocre. You know, it's okay though.
You know, and that's all they had to do, not involve the originals. Yeah, and they could have done their cheesy little hokey thing. Yeah, I would have still called them cheesy, but at least they wouldn't have shit on everything else.
Yeah, I don't really understand that mindset that they have. Like, it just doesn't compute with me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that need to tear down what came before to prop whatever you have up. Like, you don't have to do that. You know, there are ways to like make new characters and stuff, and you know, people will like them.
Because
You know,
man, I'm not gonna lie, I really feel like I could have liked Rey if she was done better.
Yeah, me too. I think there was potential, and same thing with you know, Finn and some of the other characters. Even Kylo Ren had, you know, some measure of potential.
Oh, he could have been cool if he was his own like Sith Lord under some weird Sith Lord Snoke, you know what I mean? And it was its own original thing. It didn't involve the other stuff. They could have done their cheesy hokey thing, and I actually feel like it probably would have done good.
Yeah, probably.
Like all that cheesy shit would have done good if it didn't involve all the other characters and it wasn't, you know what I mean? It probably would have done better if it didn't involve all the older characters.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, do something new. Like, be like, oh yeah, 200 years in the future after Luke and whatnot.
Like if you were gonna involve anybody, you involve Mark Hamill as a Force Ghost.
Plus,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. But also, one of the things that they did that bothered me the most out of everything that they did with the sequel series is they went back to the status quo. You know, without any explanation of how they managed to get back to the status quo after like the heroes won. You know, it's like, oh, we're back to the Empire is basically back, you know, stronger than ever, more guys than ever. No explanation why or how they got to that point.
Plus, it felt like, I don't know. So they're trying to say, oh, well, the Empire never really went away, but they just like didn't do anything for like 30 years. And because it feels like the First Order just showed up. It doesn't feel like they've been around for long. It feels like they're just now starting to do their stuff.
It does not make sense.
It does not make sense. Look at Chewbacca.
Chewbacca is a Wookiee living on the planet Endor.
Like, and they missed the opportunity to make like a new ship, a new iconic ship that wasn't the Millennium Falcon.
Yes.
You know, like they could have made a new iconic ship.
You know, that's the thing is funny, is like they rely so much on the nostalgia of the original, but then crap all over it at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like you can't do that. You have to pick one. Either crap all over the old stuff and make your own stuff, you know, or just no, not crap all over animate. Like it's like you either want to have the old stuff and like use that, or you make your new stuff. Like that's it. Like you don't need to like destroy it in the movie. You could just be like, well, that was then, this is now. Nobody would have complained.
Nope. You know, I mean, because they wanted to use stormtroopers, they were forced to bring back the Empire. All they had to do was come up with a new form of a trooper. You missed an opportunity to design a new kind of trooper that's, you know, that would have been actually efficient and something scary. You missed your opportunity to have Finn be the Jedi, which would have worked.
It would have been a better story, because I think that's the story that people wanted to see as well, because it was interesting. It was different. It's like, oh, a stormtrooper who becomes a Jedi.
And it would have been cool seeing like Rey be that mechanic / pilot type of chick.
Yeah.
She would have killed it better.
Instead of having her be the I'm better at everything than everybody.
The actual chosen one, not Anakin, the real chosen one.
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, he wasn't the chosen one. She's the chosen one.
No, she's the one that has to take out Palpatine, because not even Anakin could. He failed.
Yeah.
But not the way he did in the expanded universe. We changed it.
Yep.
But we're not going to tell you how we did it. The Sith, they have unnatural ways. Yeah, shut up. Oh, it's so insulting. And like I said, they could have just made something new. I was actually excited to see Snoke and what he was going to do. They could have built him up to be a really cool final big bad. And like I said, all they had to do was keep the originals out of it.
Yeah. And
they would have had a much better reception.
Well, you know, what I'm thinking of is like we're talking about like, you know, support new media, try new things, support the little guys, the people that actually like you and want to entertain you. And with Gina Carano joining, getting fired from Star Wars and joining, the Daily Wire's video production side, who knows? Maybe they're going to do some sci-fi stuff to actually compete with Star Wars. Maybe it'll be better. Who knows? Yeah, it probably will be. But we're also building that side up. Like, if you want sci-fi, you want your sci-fi fix, we're also working on that. You're working on a little something right now that's going to be sort of the seed of our sci-fi universe.
I am.
Want to talk about that?
I am working on a story that kind of acts like a prologue to a much bigger story. But in order to tell my story with the character I want, I have to kind of show how she ends up there.
Yes.
So I'm working on a little story that shows how the main character, a young woman named Erica Nilsson, she kind of inherits basically like an elder god. And it slowly starts to change your world. It's kind of based on like kind of Lovecraft stuff, but my own version of it. It hopefully you like it. It kind of has some, you know what I mean? I'm going in a really different direction than JUANPOOL.
Oh yeah, big time.
So it's not necessarily a funny story at all. Like, now that I think, so it's not like a funny story. I'd say it's gonna border more on like sci-fi horror.
Yeah, and here's a page from it. I just happen to have one of them up on the screen right now. Little sneak preview of The Offspring.
I really love how I did space. Yes,
it looks great, man. Like, so you want some really cool sci-fi stuff? Troy Torres and Science Wizard Comics have got you covered. We are building something fantastic. I think people are going to dig it. It is exciting. It is varied. It's going to be vast. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Like, we've been having so much fun just building up the world, like building up the characters, like creating characters and stories around them that we can explore. We got a ton of content. We're just like chomping at the bit to get to. I got to get through Pineapple Pizza Man issues 1 through 3. Yeah, we got some plans in the sci-fi world. So maybe check out our Patreon, patreon.com/ScienceWizardComics. Buy our books on indieplanet.com/science-wizard-comics. Help support us. Help us get there. The more we can, build up monetarily, the faster and the more, content we can bring to the public. New content, fresh content, new stories. That's the exciting stuff. That's the stuff that we need right now.
Yes, indeed.
And we've got so much more with the Nexus. There's a lot of stuff that's been, being included in it, donated to that world from other artists all across, Twitter and it's rad, man. We got The Offspring here. We got another title that we're working on. It's sort of on the back burner for now. Help Becky Smash and Last Call, another one with from Troy. And
2020 really put a setback to projects.
Yes, it did. We were really motoring on this stuff, but then we really kind of had to stick the focus to JUANPOOL until we got that fully fulfilled and completed. But we're slowly getting back into that groove. We've got Gate Crashers, we got Heavy Metal Odyssey. It's another title by Smackin Kraken that he's building up while he's working on Chicken Warrior. So we may be kind of a little slow getting these out there at the moment, but we're always moving. We're always in that direction, heading towards the end goal of getting these books in people's hands, so people can have some fresh, new, exciting, fun entertainment content that doesn't hate you. In fact,
it doesn't like scold you. It doesn't talk about like current events, and it's just like, you know, good stuff.
Yeah, in fact, just the opposite. We love you.
Yes.
And we want you to have fun. We want you to enjoy yourselves. So, you know, definitely please check out our various, you know,
Yeah, like
funding
that's so
options.
strange. They're like, I don't want fans to like this anymore.
Right? It makes no sense. It's the most counterproductive mindset possible, and yet somehow they've arrived at it. Let's take a look at another page from the Offspring. Why don't we? We got a couple. Including this bad boy. Kaboom! Oh my god. Destruction on a planetary level? What
I love
are we
that
in
picture.
for? Right?
Oh, this one's gonna be really green.
So green.
So JUANPOOL's pink, this one's green.
Oh yeah. There's plenty of pink in there too. And teeth.
Yeah.
I love
Not
the
like
Offspring.
JUANPOOL's pink. JUANPOOL's really pink.
Oh yeah. But I'm digging this. I love it. I've read the script. I know what's coming. It's going to be a lot of fun. You know, we got so many like Easter eggs and call outs and cross promotion, you know, in our stuff. Like it's wild, you know. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's a very intertwined, connected world, even though they're separate.
Absolutely. You know, JUANPOOL and Pineapple Pizza Man, they exist on two completely different, you know, universes. But there are some similarities that
There's
pop up here and there.
lots of parallels.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would almost say they echo one another.
In a way, yeah, definitely. But very different characters too.
Yes.
All right. Well, you know, it's been about 2 hours, about an hour and a half. What do you say? Do you want to start wrapping things up?
Yeah.
I got a good sketch going for the first OC character here. This is from our good bud Semicolon. I have Semicolon on Twitter. You can find his link down in the description. You can find in the description down below. You can find all of our relevant links to our Patreon, to the Indyplanet store, to our TeePublic. If you want some of that merch, the posters look great. Pillows look great. Please check it out. I got the tank tops. The tank tops are really, really nice from TeePublic. I wear them all the time. Super comfortable. Prints look great, so highly recommend those. And of course, more than anything, I recommend getting JUANPOOL. They came out great. I've got my own copies from the Kablam store. They look fantastic. They do a good job. They do good work. So please check those out, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Troy, thank you so much for joining me and discussing these topics with me. It was a lot of fun. Always a good time. And yeah, keep an eye out for the Pineapple Pizza Man pre-launch page. I'll be launching that sometime this weekend, I hope. I'm going to try and get everything ready for then. Yeah, there's going to be a special perk for people that sign up for the pre-launch for Pineapple Pizza Man. There's also and you're going to want to sign up for the pre-launch as well, because one of the things we like to do with the Indiegogo campaigns is have like the exclusive little extras for like the first 100 and the first 25 backers. So the sooner you back on the project, the more cool stuff you get. And we're going to add an additional thing for, you know, signing up for the pre-launch page. So I think it's going to be a one-of-a-kind trading card. I think that was what we were planning, is a one-of-a-kind trading card for people who sign up for the pre-launch page. And then the first 100 will get a poker chip, just like we did for JUANPOOL. The first 100 backers got a sweet JUANPOOL poker chip. Very cool. And then the first 25 got a limited Robbie poker chip.
Gay for Robbie.
So gay for Robbie. G4R, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, so very limited but very cool. Everybody was raving about the poker chips. I thought they turned out great. People loved them. It's a fun little extra for like being like, you know, one of the earliest backers. So we're gonna do that even more with the pre-launch. So if you get the pre-launch, you'll get a special trading card. If you're, you know, within the top 25, you get the trading and you sign up for the pre-launch, you'll get a trading card and 2 poker chips. And the first 100 will get a poker chip and the trading card if you sign up for the pre-launch. So definitely keep an eye out for that. I'm hoping to launch it this weekend, if not next weekend, because it is going to be a little busy here, you know, because I got my birthday next weekend coming up.
Happy birthday.
This weekend is Family Day, and Valentine's Day is on Sunday, so a little busy. So trying to get that out this week. Might be pie in the sky, but fingers crossed. So again, thank you everybody for coming. I am Josh the Amazing Animator. You can find me on Twitter at Josh Animator. You can find me on Minds.com at Josh the Animator. Troy, they can find you on Twitter at MRMVQBoy. They can also find you on Minds.com at Marley Marvel. So yeah, thank you again, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Have a great night. Cheers.